A chat with Glendora, a show for living right. A chat with Glendora makes your day so bright. Words of inspiration, jokes to make you smile. Come relax and chat with Glendora for a while.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to A Chat with Glendora. This is show number 14,339, and I have a new friend, and his name is Brian. Brian, spell your last name for me and pronounce it, dear.
It's Papalia, and it's Papalia.
Oh, that's nice. What does that mean in Italian?
Actually, I have no idea. I do know that it's an Italian last name, but the pronunciation is Greek. So it actually might have started in Greece and then come through Italy and then, made its way over here.
Oh, I'm sorry for my mistake, honey.
I just learned that myself about 2-3 years ago. So.
Now, Brian, tell us the exact title of your position at the Humane Society in Chautauqua County, please.
Well, I am the Director of Fundraising and Communication here at the Chautauqua County Humane Society.
And folks, do you know where Chautauqua County is? How many miles is it west of Buffalo?
We're actually south of Buffalo, and we're about 65, 70 miles, depending on which part of Buffalo you're talking about.
Where the Bills play?
Yeah, we're about 65 miles from there. We are famous for, we are the home of Lucille Ball, the birthplace, I should say, of Lucille Ball, and we have the National Comedy Center here in Jamestown.
Oh, and you are located in Jamestown.
Yes, we are just off Strunk Road, off of Interstate 86, and we are right here on the west, kind of the west side of the city.
And just one more of these geographical questions. How far are you from the Ohio border?
You're about an hour and a half, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Oh, Now, has anything big and wonderful happened recently?
Yeah, we've had a couple of really cool stories. Actually, one literally just happened about 10 minutes ago. I'd tell you how things work around here. We have a dog named Bam Bam who has been with us for over 100 days, and our behavior team here at the shelter had taken a lot of extra steps. He was a very scared dog. He, was having some very energetic, very, just a lot for any family to take on. And so the behavior team worked with him over that time and then got him into a foster home here within the last couple of weeks. And some people saw a video we did about him in the foster home. So they decided to try to do a foster to adopt, and they took him just about a week ago from the foster home. And today, just now, they came in and they adopted him because they fell in love with him.
Hooray! Oh, that's the kind of thing that gives us a happy feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, and we don't know exactly how the animals we adopt out are going to be in a home because we don't have that setting. And it turns out when he got into the home, the gentleman that fostered him did a lot of work with him and stuff, but he was very different because it's less stress, and so they were able to kind of see what kind of dog Bam Bam really was. And so now, he just I think it was maybe 15 minutes ago, he left the doors and went to his home.
I guess that makes you feel good, doesn't it, Amy?
Yeah, it does. It makes all of us feel really good. We're a team here, and we're all working for the same thing, and that's exactly what we're working for.
Oh, this is good news. Now tell me some more good news. These make me feel good.
We had a kitty named Squeak, and Squeak came in back in April, middle of April, and he was not in good shape. He was very matted. He had a lot of fleas.
Oh.
Really dehydrated. Didn't have
gray.
And they actually didn't know if he was even going to make it. He came in on, I think it was on a Friday, and they were watching him very closely over the weekend. And he did, they gave him fluids and gave him some antibiotics just in case. Took care of the mats, and he turned into, well, he probably always was, just the sweetest kitty. And he,
how nice!
With in our spay neuter clinic, and he had kind of we'll call it a little bit of a punk rock look, because he had to be shaved because of the mats and stuff. But he was only up for adoption for, I think it was like 9 or 10 days. He went home yesterday.
He did?
Yeah.
Or she did. I guess it's a she, yeah.
No, Squeak is a he.
Yes. How does that make you feel, Amy Diamond?
Those are just, they're big wins. See any animal we see go out the door, it's really exciting. But especially when you see animals that come in with these, a little bit maybe harder luck stories, and they turn around, and whether it's health-wise or behavior.
I love it. I love it. Keep going, Brian. Keep it up. Give me another one.
This actually started today, and it's a better story than it could have been for these kids. I usually get to the shelter about 6:30. I'm usually the first one here, and I come driving up, and our sign by the road, I see a crate there. And anytime you see a crate, a box, or anything like that, you kind of, what's this going to be? And there were 5 kittens in this crate, and luckily, whoever left them there did set them up with like food and litter and all that stuff, and we were able to get them inside. They all helped me, and now they're going through the adoption prep situation, and I can tell you about that in a second. And now we'll get them all set up, and we'll get them up for adoption so they can go to homes where they'll be loved and cared for.
And is there any latest news on that?
Right now, they'll be our adoption process. They get looked over medically, and then once everything's good there, they will get a microchip. They they're updated on their vaccines. They are spayed or neutered, because we don't adopt any animal out without spaying or neutering first. And then get a little bit of flea treatment, and then they're ready to be out for adoption.
Somebody's going to be very happy to be the one who adopts those, Brian. I wish I could adopt them. Oh, I wish I could have them all.
Yeah, it's that's the nice thing about working here. You do get it, for any of us, you get a chance to actually interact with so many animals, and you get to see them go into nice homes without having to take them all.
Yes, Ryan. You have such a good attitude about it. You have such a good nature about it. Tell us some more, would you?
Well, a little bit about the organization. I know this is going out to quite a broad audience. If anybody's looking for information about the Chautauqua County Humane Society, they can find out more at chqhumane.org. It's chqhumane.org, and they can do anything from seeing who's available for adoption, how they can get involved, whether it's volunteering or fostering, or the ever important donation. We like to keep everything.
Yes, take your time and elongate that information and let the people get a good grasp of it. Start out again, honey. About the organization.
Kind of our, the core of what we do really falls on volunteering. And, we have a small staff where altogether we're about 21 or 22 people. And we have volunteers that really help us in every facet of what we're doing, whether it's animal care, whether, helping to socialize the animals, clean and care for the animals, help give the animals medications, taking dogs for walks, all that kind of stuff. That's, really key to what we're doing, because every hour a volunteer puts in, that's an hour of money saved for the shelter, where we can put more towards, the actual animals versus the salary or that sort of thing. Another anchor of volunteering is when it comes to our spay-neuter clinic, which is, one of the pillars of what we do here, is to do our part to help control the pet population. And we have people that go into the spay-neuter clinic, and they, help care for the the animals as they are going in and out of anesthesia for the procedure. They help clean the room. They help with the actual, prepping the animals for the surgery and stuff like that. So it's very important. We have options and opportunities for people of all skill levels, for groups of people, whether they're coming from a school or a place like our local resource center or businesses. We're just really open to any kind of help we can get.
And now, tell us your location and your address and your email.
Well, we've got our location. We are the Chautauqua County Humane Society. It's 2825 Strunk Road in Jamestown. And we are, if you're on Interstate 86, which is the major thoroughfare that goes east and west across the state, really, it goes all the way to New York City. We are exit 11 coming off of that. And
now say all that again, Brian. Say it again now, slowly, would you please?
If you're coming on Interstate 86, if you're coming from out of town, we are exit 11 off as the major thoroughfare that goes across the entire state. And you can find the address, you can find our phone number, and how you can get in touch with us through email or Facebook at chqhumane.org.
Okay, say it again, dear.
So it's 2825 Strunk Road in Jamestown. That's how you find the Chautauqua County Humane Society. And we are, like I said, just across if you're coming across, maybe coming from Erie, Pennsylvania, we have a lot of adopters from the Erie, Pennsylvania area.
You do, really?
Oh, sure, yeah. Just across the border in Erie, because Erie is only about 45 minutes from here to the west of us. And then we do get some people from Erie County, Buffalo, that area. We actually get people sometimes. We've had some from as far away as Rochester and Syracuse.
No, really?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I think that's wonderful. What New York town, city are you near, dear, other than Jamestown? Jamestown and what? Erie? You're a long ways from Erie, aren't you?
Or about 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
45-minute trip to Erie. It's about an hour to Buffalo. We are about 2.5 hours from Pittsburgh. We do get some people from, not quite Pittsburgh, but from down in that area.
No, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is
good.
good.
That's kind of our...
Tell me some more miracles, will you, Brian? One of the best ones you can remember from all the time you've been there.
Well, one of the most interesting stories is we had we had a gentleman come in, this is like 4 or 5 years ago, and he had these kittens in a box. And we asked, and it's a very bad start to the story. The only reason I kind of giggle a little bit is there's some funny parts and it has a good ending. This guy said he was driving on Interstate 86, not far from here, and he said he saw something fly out of a car window.
Oh, jeez.
He couldn't figure out what it was, and so he stopped his car where the box had landed, and then it turns out there were like 6 or 7 kittens.
Oh.
So they were, obviously scared, and they're running under his car, and so he took all his time, and he was on the ground and trying to get all the kittens, and he did, and he didn't have, anything to really keep them in, aside from, he didn't even have the box yet. So he didn't have the box yet. He just saw the kittens come out of the car.
Oh.
So he gets them all together, and he comes in, and he tells us the story, and then he starts laughing. He goes, well, the ride over here was something. We're like, oh, really? What happened? He goes, why are these kittens in the car? And they were old enough to be, agile and get around and stuff. And he goes, I've got kittens in the back seat. I've got kittens in the front seat. I've got 2 in my lap. He goes, I got 1 on the top of my head. He's like, they're just everywhere. And so I think the box actually came from us. Like somebody came out and they saw what he was trying to do. But he had them all. He brought them here. And, they were checked over, and thankfully they were all okay. And
were there any fatalities?
No, not at all. No.
Oh, God.
And he was right with all his kids. And then, we did I did an article. We have a mail out newsletter, and I did an article for that because, we took a picture of him with all the kittens, but then they were in foster for a little bit, but they all got adopted within that summer, over the course of, say, the next month. They all did get adopted.
So, that's good.
His part.
Brian, just go over again where people go or do to make a donation.
If you want to make a donation to the Chautauqua County Humane Society, you can go to chqhumane.org. chqhumane.org, and then you'll see right at the top of the page there's a donate button. That you'll find them throughout the website. If you want to make a donation over the phone, you can call 716-665-2208, and you can make a donation over the phone. They can be mailed again to the address 2825 Strunk Road here in Jamestown. The zip code is Jamestown, N.Y. 14701. So really, we like to keep that, the possibility of making donations as easy and open as possible.
Good. Now, is there anything else that the public can do for you since you are doing so much for the public?
I think, anybody that's interested in, if they're local to us, and volunteering or fostering, which is something I brought up before but didn't really elaborate on too much. Fostering is very important to what we do, because when it comes to fostering, that's when an animal comes in, say like those kittens, where they're not quite ready. Maybe they're not old enough to be spayed or neutered, or not old enough, but big enough. Maybe there's a situation, possibly like with these kittens this morning, they might be scared. They might need a little socialization before they're ready for adoption. It might be a health situation. It could be many things, but what happens with fostering is that makes it so the animals are in a home, they're getting the specific attentive care they need, and that opens up space here at the shelter as well, so we can help more animals here in the building. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Brian, I fostered a kitty for 15 years.
Really?
Yes, they said 2 weeks.
Wow.
I said yes.
Yeah.
And guess what her name was, honey? Her name was .com.
Oh, really?
Yeah, .com. Amy, do you have any questions you want to ask Brian?
No.
Because Amy has a kitty. Tell Brian about your kitty, Amy.
My kitty's name is Miss Kitty.
Huh.
And her name is Miss Kitty, right?
Yeah.
And what color is she, dear?
She's like a dark gray with black stripes.
Uh-huh. And she's 7 or 8 years old, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was brought up on a farm?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, Brian, do you feel the same way we do, that you should keep kitties in the house where they won't get hurt and where they won't hurt anybody?
Yeah, I think that's pretty important. We do have, it's called the Working Cat Heroes program, and we do have, it's essentially a barn cats program. But we do support that idea that there are some cats that, are not really built for that indoor life and are not, they need humans that know they need humans, but they might not necessarily want to be around them all the time. And so that is something that, we are definitely working with, because if the option is to, say have to euthanize versus letting them go out there to, like a barn or a warehouse where we know they're going to be cared for, we know that, the medical will be taken care of and people will be watching out for them. That's, a good situation. But yeah, people in the city and stuff like that, where it is definitely a good idea to keep your cats inside.
And Brian, Amy keeps her kitty indoors, and I kept .com indoors after I had a few scares and I finally got smart. I kept her indoors, and she lived a good long life. Is it true, Brian, that a kitty cat year is equal to 7 years human? What is that ratio?
I think it's 8 years, or it's 8. I'm trying to remember what that is.
Say again, dear.
I think it's 8 years. It's a little bit more than a dog. Because a dog is 7.
Oh, I'll say, and a kitty
I'm pretty
is
sure a cat is 8.
Uh-huh.
I read that one time somewhere.
So,
we have 4 kitties
yeah.
in our house. And we keep all of our kitties indoors.
Yes. Yeah. And you want to know something, Brian? MyKitty.com was a vegan.
Really?
Through and through. Yes. Worthington Foods and Loma Linda make quite a few meat substitutes like Swiss steak and a Big Frank's, a very healthy hot dog, and fried chicken, and all these things. And they come in cans, and they are expensive. But that's what she liked the most. And if you sprinkled it with nutritional yeast, they are, I never met a cat yet who didn't go wacky over nutritional yeast.
Huh. Wow.
And I don't know what there is in nutritional yeast, but that's what she did. And she had vegan cheese, and she never went for vegan milk. She didn't care much for milk, but she did drink a lot of water. And one day my helper, Gregory, was sitting beside me at the computer, and .com always sat on the desk with us all day long while we were doing our work. And I looked at her and I says, well, now .com looks like she could use a piece of vegan cheese. So I went and I got .com a piece of vegan cheese. And I looked at Gregory and I said, well, he looks like he could use a piece of vegan cheese. And I went and I got Gregory a piece and I put it down beside him. And he was busy at the computer and he didn't want to bother with cheese. And she went over and ate his.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
They're all unique. You know, they all have their own likes and dislikes. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Amy, do I have time to tell Brian a story? How many minutes have we got?
You got 7 minutes left.
I think I do. A cat, a dog, and a bird all died on the same day, and they all went to heaven on the same day. And God said to the bird, where do you want to sit? And the bird says, on your left. And God said to the dog, where do you want to sit? And the dog said, on your right. And God said to the cat, where do you want to sit? And the cat says, I think you're sitting in my chair.
That's very true.
Very true, isn't it? And somebody asked the dog, are you bilingual? And the dog said, woof, meow. Do we have any other dog and cat stories, Amy?
Yeah, do you want to tell him about the one where the guy had the talking dog and he was saying things like roof and Ruth?
Oh, okay. And he went to the talent agent?
Yeah.
A man had a talking dog and he went to a talent agent down in Manhattan to see if he could get some bookings. And the man said to the talent agent, this dog talks. And the talent agent says, I don't want to hear it. The man says, no, this dog talks. Rover, what does a house have on top of it to keep the rain from coming in? And Rover said, roof. And the talent agent says, I don't want to hear anymore. And the man says, no, listen to this. Rover, what does a tree have in the ground to keep it from falling over? And Rover said, roots. And the talent agent at this point is pushing the man and the dog out the door. And the man says, no, listen to this. Who was the greatest baseball player of all time? And the dog said, roof. And at this point, the talent agent pushes the dog and the man out the door. And as the man and the dog are walking down the corridor, the dog looked up at the man and said, I should have said DiMaggio.
Nice.
Now, honey, we don't have but 2-3 minutes left. We've said what the public can do for you and what you are doing for the public. Now, you are a great service to the public because the public doesn't want to see an injured animal or a homeless animal, do they?
Well, I mean, we do a lot for our community outreach. Something I didn't mention yet is we do have a pet pantry. We help animals in our community that have homes, because one of our main missions is not only to help animals that don't have homes, but to help animals that are in homes where they might need a little help to stay there with their family. And we have a pet pantry. Last year we handed out almost 37,000 pounds of food. This would be dry food, wet food.
Wait a second, honey. Say that again?
We distributed just under 37,000 pounds of food to our community in need. Because we do live in, it's a relatively low-income area.
Wow.
You know, and then coming out of the pandemic where a lot of people have been out of work and that sort of thing. And so
really?
we work really hard.
Oh, how nice. Oh, I
Work
think
with
that's
our local
wonderful.
Salvation Army. We have a great partnership with them, and we, thankfully, through some grants and donations, we're able to keep that pantry. We've been keeping it going since 2019. So.
Oh, this is all so positive. Any more you can tell us, dear?
Well, I just, if we're getting down to the end of it here, I just would like to invite anybody to, find out more about what we do. I know, there's a lot of organizations that are looking for support, looking for donations, and I always like to encourage anyone, whatever you're looking into, you find out more about it. Stop by the Chautauqua County Humane Society or visit, ask us questions.
Oh, that's nice.
And then hopefully you will, you will get involved.
Do you ever have an open house, Brian?
It's open all the time, really. You can,
yeah.
If you're interested in learning more or getting a tour or anything like that, connect with us, and we'll be happy to set that up.
No, Amy, how many minutes are left?
You got 2 minutes left.
Now, let's go over it again. Brian, give your full name, your title, and the name of your organization, and the address and the email, please, honey.
I am Brian Papalia, the Director of Fundraising and Communication at the Chautauqua County Humane Society. And we have, like I said, 2825 Strunk Road in Jamestown. And if they want to get a hold of us, they can email us. You can email me. It's bpapalia@chqhumane.org. If they're on Facebook, they can message us through Facebook. I handle that as well. So they'd be talking to me. And, yeah.
And again, Brian, you spell your last name how?
Papalia.
Did you want to spell it, Amy?
No, I know how to spell it.
Okay. Amy, do you have any words? Do you want to say anything?
I just hope that they're doing well with all their dogs and cats.
Yes. And other animals too, right? Rabbits?
Yeah, we've had rabbits, we've had gerbils, we had an African gray parrot one time, we had a potbelly pig at one time, we've had rats, we've had, all sorts of different. We had bunnies. We adopted a bunny from here at one point. So, just, you never know.
Well, listen, you've done us a lot of good. You just don't know how you cheered me up, thinking of the good that you have done those little animals that I love. Oh, I love them so. Well,
if you're ever in the area, stop in for a visit.
Say again, Brian?
If you're ever in the area, stop in for a visit.
Oh, indeed, indeed, indeed. Brian, grace and peace unto all of you up there, and thank you for the good you are doing the people, and thank you for the good you are doing the animals.
Well, thank you for having me on, Glendora.
You betcha. It took a while, didn't it, dear?
It was a little bit of a trick that we got here.
Yeah, I mixed everything up. Bye-bye, dear.
All right. Bye, Glendora.
Bye-bye, sweetie.
All right. Bye.
Bye.